Welcome back. Well, in this video I get this smart car running and back on the road. So the first thing I did, I had a bit of a problem with the clutch, just didn't feel right. I did fit a new clutch when I rebuilt the engine, but I've since found out you need to set up this actuator properly. So before I did that, I just pulled it apart, had a good look in it, and it looked all pretty new, to be honest. So I just add a little bit of grease and put it back on. Now what I found is when you install these, there's one section that's got notches on it, and you'll see this in a minute. And what you need to do is preload it just onto the clutch fork, and then once you feel a little bit of tension, you need to increase the tension by 3 notches and lock it down, and then that's pretty much it. So you can see on that front bolt the notches. I mark it and then simply push it forward 3 notches, and then it's pretty much done. So with that locked down, that was the clutch sorted, and after that I started to look at all the error codes I had on the engine, and I messed about with it, and in the end decided to upgrade the software on my Foxwell unit and cleared all the alarms. You can see the airbag lights still on, and there's a whole heap of alarms after I rebuilt the engine, and also had the service light that I wanted to reset. So I'll show you how to do that. You don't need a reset or Foxwell unit for that. And see what we find. So we'll do a quick scan. My God. Right, so I've just reset the airbag light. Just start it up and see if that goes away. Reset the service, turn the ignition on, press this twice quickly, turn it off, hold it in and start the car. And then keep holding it for 10 seconds. There it is, due in 20,000. There it is, perfect. Turn the car off. Turn it back on. Looking good. Okay, well that was the alarms all cleared and everything sorted from that sense. And then what I wanted to do was clean up the front disc, because I did machine those a while ago before I had it left outside, and you can see there's surface rust on it. And it's quite easy actually to get rid of surface rust. So what you need is phosphoric acid, preferably 50 to 60%. Now I have got some somewhere, and I'm still trying to sort out my stuff, so instead of that I just went to the hardware shop and bought this product, which pretty much is phosphoric acid. You put that in and it just eats away the rust, and you don't need to brush it very hard at all. I left it in there for probably 15 minutes, just agitated it around with a paintbrush, and come off real easy. I hosed it down, and then I just used a little bit of emery paper or sandpaper just to give it a quick clean over. But it's literally took me just a few minutes, and it would have cleaned up just from driving around, but I've done this where I'd rather it look right. So there you go. Did the same on the other side, and that was the disc sorted out. Now with that job done, there was one thing I didn't finish with the lift kit a while back, and that was the extensions you need for the rear shockers. So I made my own kit, and there are a bracket that goes onto the rear tube normally that I've seen, but I decided to do it a different way and just make my own couple of brackets, and I'm going to weld them to that frame itself. So drill a hole, I measured the bracket I needed, I welded a nut on there just so it won't spin. I do use the original bolt, and that plate is, I think it's 5mm thick or maybe 6mm, so it stacks strong enough. And what I do is bolt it onto the shocker, just have it firm, not overly tight, just so I can position it properly. I sit it on there. I've worked out the height difference I need. It pretty much matches, obviously the extensions I put on. And I tack them in place, and then I fully weld them, TIG weld them. Once I take the shocker back out, because obviously I don't want to burn the rubber. And you can see that handbrake cable there. It's very close to where I'm welding, and it looks worse than what it really is. But when I'm welding, I'm actually pointing the heat away from that cable, so it was all fine. I gave it a quick bit of spray paint and then reinstalled the shocker, tensioned it all up, and that was the lift kit pretty much done. So far I've put the lift kit on it, I've put the underbody protection, I've rebuilt the engine, built a custom exhaust, and now all the alarms are reset on the engine, and I'm just going to start it up, go for a quick drive, and then I'll really want to get into the first mod. So I put the wheels back on, lower it down off the car hoist, and I must say it's so nice to be able to start using this workshop. And I know it's taken a long time, but the workshop just has been a massive job. Put some air in the tyres, haven't been pumped up for 3 years roughly, or 4 years nearly. It's unbelievable how quickly time goes. So yeah, lower it down, start it up. I'll go for a quick ride. I can't get too far because there's actually been a little bit of rain, and with those road tyres out in my paddocks, the wheels are just spinning. So I'm going to have to do something with the tyres and maybe put something off-road on there. We'll see. The main thing is I just wanted to check that it ran all right. Well, there it is, basically where I left off a few years ago. So starts good, runs good. Clutch is all good. Alright, might drive around into the paddock, one of the paddocks, and just see how it actually goes. It's quite noisy, but I think it's just because I've got no tail lights in holes. I can hear the back of the car. Oh, got a log in the way. Should be able to get around that. Whoa. It's a bit overgrown. Let's see if I can reverse. This is good. Can't see where I'm going though. Up a hill. A few blackberries. Oh well, it is a bush car. Not bad, not bad. I'll do some more experimenting, but I want to get into this first mod and get a tow bar happening, but I think this is going to be good. Bit of a view of the workshop. Nice. See you next time.